Om. 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 Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Vakratunda Mahakaya, Surya Koti Samaprabha, Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva, Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारंभं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा ॐ श्रीमात्रे नमः ॐ so we will start with verse number 65 66 so we'll start with verse number 66 very beautiful verses विपञ्चया गायन्ति विविधमपदानं पशुपतेः विपञ्च्या गायन्ति विविधमपदानं पशुपतेः त्वयारब्धे वक्तुं चलितशिरसा साधुवचने त्वयारब्धे वक्तुं चलितशिरसा साधुवचने विपञ्चया गायन्ति विविधमपदानं पशुपतेः त्वयारब्धे वक्तुं चलितशिरसा साधुवचने तदीयैर्माधुर्यैरपलपिततन्त्रिकलरवां तदीयैर्माधुर्यैरपलपिततन्त्रिकलवरां निजां वीणां वाणी निचुलयति चोलेन निभृतम् वीणां वाणी निचुलयति चोलेन निभृतम् तदीयैर्माधुर्यैरपलपितनितन्त्रिकलरवां निजां वीणां वाणी निचुलयति चोलेन निभृतम् विपञ्चया गायन्ति विविधमपदानं पशुपतेः त्वयारब्धे वक्तुं चलितशिरसा साधुवचने तदीयैर्माधुर्यैर्पलितपिततन्त्रिकलरवां निजां वीणां वाणी निचुलयति चोलेन निभृतम्. So what is the Acharya saying here? Very beautiful verse. Let us see the meanings. So he is saying Vipanchaya Gayanti, playing and singing. Who is playing and singing? So the Vipanchaya Gayanti, Vipanchaya is the playing of the Veena. So Vipanchaya Gayanti. Obviously, if it is Veena, then we have to understand that it is Saraswati who is playing. So Vipanchaya Gayanti, Vividha means different types of. Apadanam means praising. Right, praising through the Leelas, praising by giving the stories of the Leelas. So Vividha Apadanam Pashupatehe of Shiva. So what is Saraswati doing? Saraswati is sitting, playing the Veena and singing along, praising the Lord, praising Shiva. So then, Tvaya Rabdhe, Arabdha means commenced, Tvaya by you, Vaktum, about to speak, Vaktum, Chalita Shirasa, nodding the head. Head is moving. Chalita is moving. Shirasa. Now we have to understand that Chalita can be this way also. This is also Chalita Shirasa. Right? This is also Chalita Shirasa. Now, if Saraswati is playing and if Devi, Tvaya, right? Devi, Tvaya means she has to be saying, her head is shaking. Which direction will it shake? It will be nodding. Right? Obviously. Because in the next word, we are getting the answer. Sadhu vachane. Sadhu vachane meaning appreciative voice. So she is nodding her head and saying, well done, with a nodding of her head. Right? So why is she saying well done? See, if you are listening to Bhimsen Joshi and Bhimsen Joshi sings something very good, will you be nodding your head and saying well done? Think. Obviously not. He is bigger than you. He is bigger than you. You have no right to praise him. But here Devi is saying, well done to Saraswati, means who is bigger? Yeah, Acharya gives all these hidden hints. He is not saying anything directly. But she is saying, well done to him. Sadhu vachane, sadhu, sadhu. Who says sadhu? The bigger person says sadhu to the junior person. Right? Now, when she says sadhu, what happens? Tadiyair madhuryaha. Because of the sweetness of that voice which said sadhu, sadhu, apalapita tantri kalavaram means this ridiculing the soft melody of her veena. So her voice is so beautiful that the Veena's beauty got ridiculed. At least that is what Saraswati felt. That the voice of Devi is so beautiful that the Veena itself got defeated. So Nijam Veenam, her own Veena, Vani, Saraswati, Nichulayati Cholena Nibritam. Nichulayati, she covers. Right? Nibritam, she covers. Nichulayati, silently, Nichulayati, Cholena, with a cloth, Cholena, Nibritam. She covered her Veena. She stopped playing. So Devi said only sadhu, sadhu. He was singing, right? Hey Tripurari, hey Murari, etc., etc. She was singing all beautiful songs. And Devi liked the songs. But she said, nodding her head, she said, sadhu, sadhu, well done, well done. And Saraswati said, Ayo, her voice itself is so beautiful. Why am I playing the Veena? Covered it. What is being praised here? Her voice is being praised, right? So we have seen earlier, her tongue was praised. The redness of her tongue, etc., was praised. Now, what is being told? Saraswati is the goddess of all arts. She is the presiding deity of all knowledge. She is the presiding deity of all arts, including music. So she is playing the Veena. She is singing. Saraswati's Vani is Vedam. Saraswati's Vani is Vedam. Right? So when she speaks, it is the ultimate knowledge that is coming. Even that ultimate knowledge is transcended. Because what does Acharya say in other texts, Brahma Sutra, Aparoksha Anubhuti, that all scripture also is nothing but a tool to attain the Parabrahman. Text is, the scripture is not by itself anything. It is a tool. So here he gives that idea that when Devi speaks, it is like Parabrahman speaking, right? It is the manifestation of Parabrahman. So even the Vedam is not enough. So the Vedam is also not enough. So she puts her the Veena down. Nija Sallapa Madhurya Vinirphasita Kachapi, right? Saraswati's Veena is called Kachapi. And it says, Nija Sallapa Madhurya Vinirbhartasita Kachapi. Kachapi, it is beyond the Kachapi. Beyond the sound of the Nija Madhurya. By your own sound, you are defeating the Madhurya of the Kachapi. He repeats that in the Devi said that about herself. Vagdevi means nothing but a manifestation of Saraswati of herself. They said this about Devi. Acharya takes this and glorifies it in a beautiful 4 lines, where he says that when Saraswati is singing and praising Paramashiva, even that gets subdued. Veda itself gets subdued. Vedic knowledge itself gets subdued in the presence of Parabrahman. So that is when the 66. Then we look at 67. Now this is also a very beautiful verse and we have to examine this very beautifully. Karagrena sprishtam tuhina girina vatsalataya. Karagrena sprishtam tuhina girina vatsalataya. Girishe nodastam muhuradhara pana kulataya. Girishe nodastam muhuradhara pana kulataya. Karagrena sprishtam tuhina girina vatsalataya. Girishe nodastam muhuradhara pana kulataya. Karagrahyam shambhor mukha mukura vrintam kirisute Karagrahyam Shambhora Mukura Mukura Vrintam Girisute Kathakaram Brumastava Chubuka Aupamyarahitam Katham Karam Brumastava Chubukam Aupamyarahitam Karagrahyam Shambhor Mukara Vrintam Girisute Katham Karam Brumastava Chubukam Aupamyarahitam Karagrena Sprishtam Tuhina Girina Vatsalataya Girisheno Dastam Muhuradhara Pana Kulataya Karagrahyam Shambhor Mukura Vrintam Girisute Katham Karam Brumastava Chubukam Aupamyarahitam Karagrena, with the tip of his fingers. Agra means the tip, the beginning point. Karagrena Sprishtam, touching. Tuhina Girina. Tuhina means snow or ice. Giri means mountain. Tuhina Girina, by the mountain of snow, which means Himavan. Vatsalataya, affectionately, like as if touching a child. Touching what is he touching? He is touching the chubukam. What is the chubukam? The chin. He is touching the chin, right? So he says here, Karagrena Sprishtam Tuhina Girina Vatsalataya. Now we have to understand, he has not said the word chubukam. He says it later, but here he has not said. But how does a father so show affection to the child? He will put this hand here, right? With the tip, he will put his hand here and he will do, okay, my baby, right? So see, from that time also we have been doing the same gestures. Our body language is the same. So the father, when the father or the parent, whenever he or she is showing affection to the child, it's a very gentle touch. And it is only to the touch of the chin, and the chin he's doing like this to the chin, and he's trying to give a affectionate touch like the father. But then he says, Girisha. Girisha means, now he said Giri, and then Girisha. Girisha means son-in-law. Right? It does not mean son-in-law. Now, Giri means mountain. Girisha means Lord of the mountain. Now, this basically means that Himavan should be worshipping Shiva, which he did. Right? Unlike Daksha, Himavan used to be worshipping Shiva. So here he uses the specific word Girisha. So Girishena Udastam, holding and lifting. Now, how does a husband touch the chin? The husband will not touch it like this. Right? The husband will have a little bit of more ownership, so to speak. So he may put his hand fully and he may lift the chin. So he says, Girishena Odastam Muhura Adhara Pana Kulataya. Meaning, Muhura means to repeatedly. Adhara Pana, Adhara means lips. Pana, to eat. Right? To eat the lips. Eat the lips meaning hissing. Right? Obviously, you don't eat the lips. Nobody is being a cannibal here. So, Adharapana, akulataya, with intensity. Right? So he says, Girisheno Datstam, the same chin which was affectionately touched by your father is now lifted by your husband for the purpose of lifting his lips. Now, see the picture. Shiva is a little taller. She is a little shorter. So if he has to kiss her, either he has to bend or he has to lift her head so that he can touch his lips to her lips. So he is lifting her chin. Right? He is lifting her chin. Now, as he lifts his chin, Karagrahyam, held, Grahyam, holding. Karagrahyam, holding in the hand. Shambho, Mukha Mukura Vrintam. Mukha Mukura means mirror. Vrintam means handle. Right? So this is a mirror. For Devi, the face is shining like a mirror. And his hand held here is like the handle. Have you seen the Aranmula Kannadi? Aranmula Kannadi, if you Google for it. So it is not made of glass. It is made out of brass and it is polished in a particular way. And in temples, in Kerala temples, they use Aranmula Kannadi as the representation of the Devi. especially in Devi temples, right? So and that is used in rituals. So Devi is shown that Aranmula Kannadi and so on and so forth. That Kannadi, it will have mirror will have a handle, right? So similarly, this is the face is her beautiful mirror and his hand is the handle. So he says, Mukha Mukura Vrintam Giri Sute. Giri Sute. Again, the word Giri comes. Now you are the daughter of the Giri. Oh Parashakti, you are the daughter. Katham Karam Brumaha. Brumaha. How can Katham Karam Brumaha? How can I speak of this? Such an intimate scene is happening. How can I speak of this? Tava Chubukam Aupamya Rahitam. Upama Aupamya. Upama means comparison. Aupamya Rahitam, without comparison. Your husband is lifting your incomparable chin and his hand is appearing like a handle. Your face is shining like a mirror and you are so intimately close to each other. Parashakti and Parashiva, they are not separate. So if they are seeing an intimate scene over there, now that scene is basically the union of Shiva and Shakti. Right? Anakalita Sadrishya Chipuka Sri Virajita. She has the most beautiful chin. Right? We have seen that in Lalita Sahasranamam. Such a beautiful name. Now you see the representation. You see how much the Lalita Sahasranamam becomes so important and so beautiful when you study Soundarya Lahari. See, Soundarya Lahari is just one name. And he has taken that name, Anakalita Chipuka. He has taken that beautiful, incomparable chin and made that into a complete poetry with such an intimate scene. Now, one of the things when the commentators have wondered, one, how could he have, if Shankaracharya has written this, how could he have written this? Because he is a sannyasi. Thoughts of male and female will not come in his head. So, how could he have written this? So then the commentator who takes this view says, no, he never wrote it at all. It was written by Shiva himself for Devi. Nobody else could have written it. Then there is a view saying that, no, it was written by Nandi. So then the question is, will Nandi be sitting over there when Shiva is being intimate with Parashakti? See, what we don't understand is, this is not some physical union happening. It is the union of Kundalini with Sahasrara. When the Kundalini approaches the Sahasrara, the Kundalini has to bend to enter into that hole. It cannot, see how look at your spine. How is your spine? Its spine is not straight. It is bent like this to hold your head. So when your head is straight and erect, your Kundalini has risen, it has to bend like this and then enter. Right? When it bends, it is like your chin going up. That is the meaning of this. That is the actual meaning. That the Parashakti, the point before that merger, where Shiva is now ready for the merger. The lips are going to touch each other. That point is being described. Yes, Priyaji. Mute. You are on mute.
Yes. So I was just thinking that when a person looks into the mirror, there is a reflection of that person on the mirror. So that is also like a union of sort. And also, Devi, this very intimate scene is being compared, Devi becoming the mirror. She is seeing Shiva in herself.
No. Ulta. Shiva is seeing
Ulta.
himself. Shiva is seeing himself
Yes.
in Devi.
Himself in her.
Yes, I was going to come to that point. Very good. So good, Manan, you have done. So the moment Shiva is holding, then the Kundalini and Sahasrara are not different from each other. Shiva does not see himself different from Devi. And that is that concept which we see, Ardhanarishwara or all this Shiva Shakti union. That is what is happening over here. But it is not merged yet. It is at that point before merger. Right? The duality is still there. Shiva is there, Shakti is there, and so on and so forth. Right?
Yes, Guruji, is there any significance to the, I mean, it's obvious from the meaning he's referring to Giri in three ways, and there are three different meanings, but is there any significance?
Yes, good question. Giri means mountain. What is the meaning of mountain? What is a mountain? Give me some other name for mountain. Okay, complete this. Shimla is the capital of?
Oh, Himachala.
So what?
Himachal. Himachal.
Okay, so give me one more name for mountain.
Himavan.
No.
Himavan is the father of
Achala.
Achala. Achal. Still.
Yes. Achal means mountain.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh.
That which
Yes.
is still. When does this happen? When does Shiva hold the chin? When we become mountains. Achala. When our mind becomes still. That is where, therefore, Giri Sute, Giri and Girisha. Right? In this body, here and now, that union can be experienced. Giri Sutta will merge with Girisha in the Giri. That is why he uses this word Giri 3 times. Good question.
Guruji,
Right.
today I'm in Tirupati.
Uh-huh.
I just finished darshan and came.
Oh, lovely.
I always, I'll say this, it may sound weird, but I was a little skeptical always because people seem to run after the picture of Balaji in their house and make it a big thing. And it's like, why are people running after this? Because that represents money for them, prosperity for them. But today, the experience I had in the temple, the Sanctum Sanctorum, Kittaka, we took the one of the good tickets, so we were quite near, and it was very calm, warmth, so much of warmth I felt, and like meeting somebody that you wanted to meet, and I didn't even think I was wanting to meet, and it was very emotional. I really enjoyed it.
Very beautiful. Good. You see, what a lot of Advaitins, pure Advaitins, what is the use of puja? What is the use of rituals? What is the use of going to a sacred place? And so on and so forth. What people don't understand is that as long as we have body, mind, intellect identification, these places make a difference. Now, to a Ramakrishna Paramahansa, whether he sits in Dakshineshwar, whether he sits in the garbage heap, it is not different for him because he cannot distinguish between these two. But for us, Paucham is important. Our external cleanliness is also important because all this will help our mind to ultimately cross over and become still. So that is why it is important. Secondly, there is something called energy. You may like it, you may not like it, you may believe in it, you may not believe in it. It's irrelevant. It is there. Right? I don't believe in electricity. It doesn't matter. If you put your hand in the plug hole, you will get a shock. Whether you believe in it or you don't believe in it, it is irrelevant. Electricity does not bother about you. It is there. How are you receptive to that? So when we go to these sacred places, we are going for this yatra to Kailash and so on and so forth. What are we going to do there? Oh, Kailash is going to be there eternally for another some thousands of years. It has been there for thousands of years. It will be there for another few thousands of years. What will happen? Some people. So when we learned the last time, what happened is the energy was so much that one lady who was with us, she's a doctor from Bangalore. In the middle of the night, her roommate rushed out and called me. And when I went there, she had, she had, she was floating, actually floating. She was not in, none of her body parts were touching the bed. And she was completely unconscious. She was in her deep sleep. But her body just lifted itself and it was floating. And this girl who was there with her, the other girl, she was also a doctor. She came and running and said, Anna, I don't know what is happening to Smita. And so we rushed over there. And then I had to wake her up and slowly we managed to get her energy down. And the next day she was in a no condition to further travel and she had to go back. Right? So even in her sleep, the energy was affecting her, right? Siddesh, my son, also experienced this energy. And then he had a very interesting question. He said, But there are these yaks and these horses which are all grazing on the slope of Kailash itself. Why does nothing happen to them? Because they are a yak. Because they have not attained to that discrimination. That is what is. Therefore, in Viveka Chudamani, verse number 2, he says that Manushya Janma Durlabham is the first step, right? Narajanmam Durlabham is the first step he talks about. We have attained that. We have the ability to discriminate. And therefore, we have the ability to become receptive to this power, to this energy. Is Sri Mahavishnu sitting only in Tirupati? Of course not. He is sitting in Tirupati, he is sitting in Guruvayur, he is sitting in my heart, he is sitting in your heart. He is Vishwam Vishnur Vashatkaraha. That is the main, how we say, Vishwam. He is this universe. But when we become receptive to that place of energy, and also another thing has happened. When we go to these places, they have been receiving that energy. See, some temples, they become dilapidated and then their power is lost. Why? Because those energy focal, we go there. So every time, you see, they say that every time you go to a temple, it is not that only you get something from the temple, but the temple also becomes energized because of your devotion over there. So when these thousands, lakhs and lakhs of people every year are coming over there and depositing their devotion, right? And when they're going there, and it doesn't matter, they go there with the aim of attaining some prosperity. And so Dhruva also did that only, no? Dhruva Maharaj also did the same thing. So he said, I want prosperity. I want to become a king. So he prayed to Vishnu. That is okay. Some people go there saying that, okay, I have cancer or I have illness, please cure me, right? Gajendra also did the same thing. So it doesn't matter. But when you go there and you turn inside and that long corridor is there, and the moment that large statue of basalt is in front of you, and you hear Govinda and the eyes start watering, you have deposited your energy also over there. And as you are walking, your eyes are watering and you are only saying Govinda and your thoughts have ceased. That when it is happening, and you come back and you reflect upon that, as we are doing now. That is important, right? Otherwise, going and coming, it is a picnic.
Maybe that is the reason why we are also chanting Vishnu Sahasranamam during the yatra. I'm just
No. That is a secret. That is a secret. I will tell you that when we go to the yatra.
You have to
Guruji,
teach us to chant, Anna. I can't chant Vishnu Sahasranamam very fluently like Lalita.
No issues. We'll learn it. It's a very easy Sahasranam. It's one of the easiest to learn.
Guruji, I also got the chance to go to Tirthani on the way.
Oh, okay, very
It
nice.
was not as per plan, so we did that also, and I was happy about that.
So did you also go to Alamela Mangapuram?
Yes, Padmavati Koval, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Very nice. Okay, let us do the Meenakshi, Yoga Meenakshi. This is also a very interesting verse. The verse says, Trikhandatma Vidyam Tribindu Swarupam, Trikhandatma Vidyam Tribindu Swarupam, Trikone Lasantim Trilokavana Trilokavanam Ram. Okay, Trikhandatma Vidyam Tribindu Swarupam, Trikone Lasantim Trikonavanam Ram, Tribijadhirudham Trimurtyatma Vidyam, Tribijadhirudham Trimurtyatma Vidyam, Parabrahma Patnim Bhaje Pandyabalam, Trikhandatma Vidyam. Trikhanda, meaning three parts. What is these three parts? In Tantra, it differs from the Advaitic methodology in one very important way. Tantra says Bhoga is also equally important. Bhoga in the right way is equally important. Advaita says Bhoga is not important. Give up Bhoga. Whereas Tantra says Bhoga is equally important. Now, Sri Vidya and all Devi worship, typically all Shakta worship, predominantly is from the Tantric viewpoint. And the Tantric viewpoint, it does not deny the existence of the body, mind, intellect. But it says you have to study it and master it. You have to master your body. You have to master your mind. You have to master your intellect. Trikhanda Atma Vidya. She whose power enables us to learn how to master our body, learn how to master our mind, learn how to master our intellect. Tribindu Swarupam. Now here he says, when you look at the Sri Chakram, then main Bindu inside is actually Parabrahman because it has no akara, right? Bindu is a representation. So where is Devi actually present? It is actually present in the first triangle. The first triangle therefore has three Bindus, right? Three apexes. The three apexes of the triangle, Tribindu Swarupam. She is there in the Trichakram, right? Trikone Lasanti. She who shines inside the triangle. Now he is talking of the Bindu inside the triangle. Trikone Lasantim, right? Inside. And then he says, Trilokava Namram. Triloka Ava Namram. Who all the three lokas, Bhur Bhuva Swaha, everybody bows down to him. Tribijati Rudham. She who rides on the three bijas. Which are the three bijas? Aim Rim Shrim. Aim Rim Shrim. That is the mantra we use in all the Devi Pujas, right? So Aim Rim Shrim, these are the three bijas. She is riding on them. Therefore, what is riding on them? Omkara. Omkara is bigger than Aim Rim Shrim. And therefore, she rides on them. She is the Omkara Swarupa. Tribijadi Rudham. Trimurtya Atma Vidyam. Because of the three bijas. Aim is a Saraswati Bijam. So therefore you know Brahma. Right? Reem is the Devi Bijam. And therefore you know Shiva. Shreem is the Lakshmi Bijam. Therefore you know Vishnu. So by knowing the three bijas, you know the Trimurti. And therefore, and not only that, you transcend these three and you look at her as Parabrahman Patneem. Parabrahma Patneem. Pandya Gopal, Bhaje Pandya Balam. So that is the, yes. Yes, both of you have questions. Yes, please.
So you mentioned the body, mind, and intellect, and they have to master them. But mastering the body, mind, intellect, isn't that the first step towards Advaita?
No, so yes. So see, Advaita is a science which encaptures all the other methodologies. So therefore, I always say, I mean, while being an Advaiti myself, therefore people say that you are being biased, but I can logically prove to you that Advaita encaptures any method and ultimately takes it to Advaita in non-duality. Because beyond non-duality, there is nothing. So I can have duality. I can also have an existence of multiplicity. Not only duality, multiplicity, body, mind, intellect, Atman, right? So Sankhya, for example, has 32 principles, right? The Panchatattvas, the Mahat, the Ahankara, etc., etc. When you break it into Sankhya, there are 32 principles, and all 32 are said to exist. Advaita goes beyond these 32 and says, no. These 32 only appear to exist. They only appear to exist. But as long as you believe them to be true, then they are actually existing. So, but since you and I have not transcended the body, mind, intellect, then can I not use the body, mind, intellect? Jumping into Advaita, we are not ready for it. That is why all of this happens. Yes, Priyaji.
I just wanted to know if Acharya has described Aim, Hreem, Shreem somewhere.
No, not to my knowledge. Aim, Hreem, Shreem would be there in, I think he would have, let me go back. Yes, he has. You are right. I'll tell you where he has. He has done that in where he has written a bhashya on the Trishati. So Lalita Trishati Bhashyam has been written by Shankaracharya. Shankaracharya did not write a Bhashyam on Sahasranama. Lalita Sahasranama Bhashyam was not written by Shankaracharya. But he wrote a Bhashyam on Trishati. So in the Trishati Bhashyam, all the three letters come. Reem comes, obviously, it comes a number of times. So it comes a number of times. But other than that, Shreem is also there, Aim is also there. So he has explained it over there. So I'll look up because it's not by heart. The Bhashyam is not by heart. The Trishati is by heart, but I will not remember the Bhashyam. So I'll go back to the Bhashyam, I'll see that, and I'll tell you in the next class. Yes.
How is the Aim, Hreem, Shreem different from the Lam, Ram, Vam thing?
Aim, Reem, Shreem are bijas of Devi. So the Lam, Vam, Ram, etc., are bijas of the tattvas. So Lam is a Prithvi tattva. Right? Vam is Vayu, is Apacha tattva.
So it is the
Apatvatva, water.
Panchabhuta. So it is the
Yes.
Panchabhuta thing, which is the...
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So Lam, Prithvi, Vam for water, Ram for Agni, Ham for Yam for the Vayu, and Ham for the Akasha.
How is I'm Hreem Shreem different from I'm Hreem Clean? Because
okay.
Clean is what is.
So clean has two depths to it, two layers to it. Okay. Clean is a Kamaraja Bijam also. It's a Kamaraja Bijam. Clean. Clean is also a Kalika Bijam. So, Shreem, however, is a Mahalakshmi Bijam. So, typically the Shreem word is used in the Om Shreem Shriyai Namaha. Right? One of the Mula Mantras of Mahalakshmi. Mahalakshmi has 16 Mula Mantrams. The only person who has 16, more than that is Dharmashastra, who has 18 Mula Mantrams. So 18, each step has a one Mula Mantram, or so it is believed. So there are 18 Mula Mantrams. Devi, if I count Devi as a whole, then it's a huge number. But Lakshmi, as one of the Rupams of Devi, has 16 Mula Mantrams. Right? For each of the upacharas that we do, Shodash Upachara, there is in Tantra, when we do that, there is a Mula Mantram that is used. So when we say Avahanam has been completed, then we do Padyam, there is a Mula Mantra. Then there is Argyam, Mula Mantra. Achamaniyam, Mula Mantra. Right? So there are 16 different Mula Mantras for different, but they all begin with Shreem. So Shreem is specific to Mahalakshmi. People typically divide it into saying knowledge, wealth, and strength. For a Devi Upasaka, that this distinction does not make any sense. Right? A partial manifestation of Devi is equal to the full manifestation of Devi. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnata Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Ishopanishad, the invocation mantra, the Shanti mantra says, Purnamada, what is whole, that is whole. This is whole. If you take away a whole from the whole, what will you get? Whole. Infinity. Infinity minus infinity, infinity. Infinity divided by 2, infinity. Infinity multiplied by infinity, infinity. Right? So infinity has no definition. So that is what he says. Purnamada Purnamidam. So even a small manifestation of that entire power is equivalent to the entire power. So therefore, whether you say Lakshmi, whether you say Saraswati, whether you say Devi, it doesn't make a difference. But when each form, they have certain affinities to certain way in which we think. So when I close my eyes and I went to meditate on Ishvara, which is the Advaitic form of the manifestation of Parabrahman, I have to look for a certain form with which I am very easily associated, with which I have asakti, I have raga. Raga means attachment, asakti means weakness. So towards that. So when I close my eyes, I normally see Devi in a particular form. Right? I have not found that form in any iconography. In the form in which I see her, I have not found her in that iconography. However, I have had immediate sakshatkar of that form in not once but a number of times. So she is four-handed, she is blue in color, she stands, she wears a dark blue vastram. She wears, the Shankapushpi? Shankapushpi, the blue flower. She wears a garland of that blue flower. In her right hand, she holds a trishula. In her left hand, she is holding a Rudrakshamala. In her lower two hands, she has Abhayavarada mudras. This is the form that in which I see her. Whenever I close my eyes, this is the form in which I see her. Now, this is not, I have not found this iconography anywhere. She is open-haired. She has three eyes. She is completely open-haired. She has no binding on her hair. She's glorious. That dark blue, it is shining blue. Right? And that is the form that I see whenever I do this, whenever I get into any Devi worship. This is the form that comes in front of me. Now, and unfortunately, I am not a painter. So, I mean, I do paint, but not like this. So, I can't paint this. So, and I've told a friend of mine who is an artist to try, but he was not able to get that space because obviously he was not a Devi Upasaka. So, the manifestation didn't happen over there. So each of us will find a particular form. If you want to associate with that particular form, there will be a particular mantra, there will be a particular yantra, there will be a particular tantra methodology with which that particular worship becomes more useful. So that is what it means.
I had one more question.
Yes,
when we
please.
were doing Vipancha Gayanti, you were talking about a hierarchy explained by Acharya that the moment Saraswati's the music sounded not as good as the voice of Devi, and then there was a hierarchy in that. So we just spoke about you just spoke about Klim being the Kali Bijam and the Kamaraja Bijam. So is there a hierarchy in Klim and Shreem?
No. None of the Bijams, none of the Devi Bijams have any hierarchy. None of the Devi Bijams have. Obviously, the Panchabhuta Tattva Bijams will have a hierarchy in the sense because they are associated. You cannot worship water with lam. There is no connection, right? You cannot say lam, and you try expecting that the water will get purified or energized. That will not happen. But you can say vam and it will get energized, right? For that matter, vam is also therefore Varuna Bijam. So when we worship Varunam, it is also using the word vam. What we do is we put the right hand on the left hand, put out the two thumbs like this, and then you do like this. This is called Matsya Mudra. So where does a fish live? A fish lives in clean water. So clean water. So you put your hand over the kalash, and then you invoke Varuna Deva over there by saying vam 12 times. Right? So the water gets energized with the vam. Now, if I say lam, it is not going to get energized. It is not connected to that. However, you take a kalash and you start chanting klim, Devi will come. You start chanting shrim, Devi will come. Only the form will be different.
And is there a hierarchy in the form? Because people seem to... No.
Purnamada, Purnamidam. That which is whole is a whole. So any form in which you worship Devi, she is complete in herself. She is complete in herself. Any form that you worship. Which is why when we do Shodashi Puja, when we do the Suhasini Puja, when we do Kumari Puja, when we do Dampati Puja, the whole concept is that in that moment, that invocation, that small girl who you know every day and who sometimes you have given her one hit because she was making a lot of noise in your house. That same girl, when she's sitting there and you are bowing down to her, because at that point of time she is the Purnam. She is the Purnam. Yes. And not the Purnam that you put into the Modaka.
No. So going back to the same thing where Acharya is describing the Veena and the Vani, means Devi's Vani and Saraswati's Veena. I'm just wondering how can there be a hierarchy at all? Because Saraswati is closing her Veena after listening to the Vani. And Vani, Devi also is appreciating Saraswati. So both of them are actually
now you see
each other in themselves.
You are not only that, you are also using the words.
The duality I brought.
No, you are using the see the duality merges. See the words you have used. And what is Acharya using? He used a word saying Veena, Vani, right? He uses the word What does he say? Nijam Veenam Vanim. Correct? And when Devi is uttering words, what is she saying? Vani. So words is Vani. That words are overpowering Vani. How can that be? They are the same. Right? Okay. Let us end today. Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.